What's up, party people? Welcome back to Love Letters to Myself. I literally for a second just forgot if that was the name of my own podcast. It's been a good 9 months since I've posted an episode. And if you're listening, then you should also know that I am going to be recording these and putting them on YouTube as well. So you can also find this episode and every episode from now on YouTube. I don't have the best film setup if you're watching. This is not anything super special. Just me in my bed hanging out. So I've got a few things to talk about today. It's a little weird. I feel like I don't know how to just talk to myself anymore. I made a few episodes at the end of last year and earlier this year, and it wasn't that hard to just talk to myself, but it's a little weird now. Good thing I do have some topics outlined for myself. Sorry if you heard that noise. I'm opening my Aquaphor to put it on my lips because they're super chapped. Oh god. Yeah, but as I had said in the last episode that I posted, I did break my laptop, so that did set me back. Honestly, I just wasn't even in a place where I had ideas for the podcast or was even motivated to do it, and the laptop breaking was just it just pushed me over the edge. So I definitely still could have done it. If anybody here wants to make a podcast and is like, oh, I don't have a computer or I don't have access to these things, don't let it stop you. You can make a perfectly good podcast episode with your phone microphone. That's what I did for the last one. But yeah, I got a new computer, so now I'm back. And I'm excited. Oh god, sorry, hold on. Just putting chapstick on my lips. Aquaphor is the best chapstick I've ever used in my life. Anyway, I'm super excited for what's to come. Now that I have this computer, and now that I'm going to be putting them on YouTube. So fun. So yeah, stay tuned, I guess. I honestly really wanted to completely change the podcast and rebrand it because it just didn't feel like me anymore. But that's a lot of work that I don't want to do. So, we will be staying Love Letters to Myself. Even though it's not really love letters to myself. Also, the way that the video is recording, I'm gonna fix it later so you won't see what I'm seeing, but it's flipped. So this is not right, and it's freaking me out. But yeah, so basically the things that I wanted to talk about today are just things that have been on my mind for a while, just things that I'm experiencing right now. I've got some new segments at the end, and I'm excited for those. But my first topic is quitting things. You can quit a lot of things, guys. You'd be surprised. I honestly got this idea from a podcast that I've been listening to, which is Plan Brie Uncut. It's not a small podcast or anything, but if you haven't listened to them, definitely go check them out. They were talking about it, and I was like, you can quit a lot of things. It's not you can just, people are like, oh yeah, I'll quit my job or quit whatever, but you can quit your addictions, you can quit your jobs, you can quit people, you can quit on yourself, you can quit projects, you can quit on relationships. So I thought that would just be what thought that would just be the first thing that I talk about today. So some things that I have quit. I have quit an addiction. That sounds like really... I was addicted to nicotine. And I've been almost 3 months without it now. And it's honestly felt great. If you're considering quitting, then take this as a sign to do it. I was vaping for almost 2 years before I quit. I got COVID and I got broke, so I just quit. I didn't really like it anymore anyway, but I didn't like how it was making me feel. And then I was like watching videos, and TikTok is not the most reliable source, but did you know that nicotine can make you age faster? Like, I quit nicotine and I physically felt better, like my lungs. Literally within like a week, I could feel a difference in my lungs. Like, going up and down stairs and just literally like walking like I wasn't getting out of breath, and I could actually take deep breaths in. Like, I used to try to take a deep breath and I could only go so far before I was like, I like really just can't breathe in anymore. And I felt like I wasn't getting a full good breath. And then within a week of quitting, I already felt better. My skin's been better. I think my hair's even been better. You do these things and you don't realize like the impact that they have on your body. It's crazy. You're like, "Oh yeah, I know that this affects my lungs because I'm smoking," but you don't think of all the other parts of your body that it can affect. And that's crazy. So that's just something to think about. It's not necessarily easy, and definitely I wanted to do it before I did. I'd been trying to do it since earlier this year, and it didn't work out. I would quit for probably the longest I quit was like a week and a half or 2 weeks, and I don't know, it didn't work. So when I quit this time, and I actually quit, it was just because I was ready, you know? I think it's hard to force yourself if you don't necessarily feel ready. I was kind of over it anyway, where I was doing it just because it was like, the oral fixation, and I wasn't even enjoying actually vaping. Like, it wasn't giving me a buzz like it did when I first started, and it didn't feel good. So I was like, why am I even doing this? It's because it's just I'm used to it. But I was ready and I quit. So if you're not ready, don't be too hard on yourself, but maybe try and mentally prepare yourself to get to a place where you're ready. So that's an addiction that I quit. I don't think I have any other addictions. Not to my knowledge. Also, if you're watching this, I have this candle behind me, and I'm like super nervous that I'm just gonna like light everything on fire, but it's okay. This is also such a good smelling candle. It's hot cocoa and cream from Bath and Body Works, and it literally smells like hot cocoa and cream. Yeah. Okay. Next things that you can quit are people. So I guess I'll talk about this in 2 different ways. Or just like relationships with people. But that can be a romantic relationship, that can be a friendship, that can be literally anything. I have had to end relationships. I have had to end friendships, and none of it is easy. But, if you are in a relationship or in a friendship with a person and you have any inkling of doubt, honestly, I would say when in doubt, do without. I think if you can't be certain about how you feel about a person, or if the way that they're treating you is good, I don't think it's worth it. As long as you've already communicated that before. I think don't quit on people without giving them a chance to be better. But if you've communicated your problems over and over and over again, and they're not changing, as hard as it is, it's only going to be worse for you the longer that you stay in it. You know, I've had friendships where there was a lack of communication and, you know, there was just a constant, like, disrespect. And I would bring it up all the time. And I would say, you don't tell me these things, and you don't, you know, you'll stop talking to me and not communicate anything about it. And in my head, I understand that this is a person who's not intentionally doing any of these things to me, but when I've communicated what I need over and over again and you don't make any effort or even communicate to me why you can't make the effort or what is standing in your way of being a good partner or a good friend, it's not worth it. And it really sucks because, you know, ending relationships and ending friendships hurts. Like, you miss people and you don't ever want to hurt anybody. But sometimes it's just what's necessary. It's better for you. Um, Even if it's really hard, you kind of just have to make yourself do it. Yeah. I was gonna talk also about quitting jobs, but I just feel like that's also, you know, I feel like that's just self explanatory. And I don't also feel like maybe I should talk about jobs that I've quit. So we'll move on to the next topic, which is missing people. I have a few things to say about this. First of all, it's so hard missing people who are still alive. And I don't mean like people who you don't really see anymore but are still like friends with. More so people who you're not friends with anymore, who you used to know every single thing about, and all of a sudden they're strangers. And you miss them all the time, and it's weird because, you know, I have friends from high school who, when we were younger, like, these are people I was friends with since I've known since pre-K when I was 4. I've been friends or close with since I was 8, 9, 10, 11, so on. And I thought that we would be in each other's lives forever. And now don't even talk to them. And they were once people that I told everything to. It's really strange. And, like, it's really hard, honestly, because it's like, what are you supposed to do? Because there's a reason. There's probably a reason you're not in each other's lives anymore. And for me, I think it's just outgrowing people. And it's hard to understand that that's okay and that's what happens because for me, I'm just a person who never wants things to change. So when things do change, I feel like I tend to feel like it's my fault, even though deep down I know it's not. But I'm like, what could I have done to make this person stay in my life or to keep things from changing? And that's not a good way to look at things. But I don't know. Missing people who are still alive is like, it's hard because you want to reach out, but it's also like so much time has passed and so many things have changed, and you're not even the same person that you were. And they might be or they might not be, and you have no idea. And, oops, I guess it's better. I guess it would be better to just like find out, but then it's also like, is it better just to leave it as it is? I don't know. Leave some advice on that, I guess. Um, and then kind of branching off of that, you know, it's hard grieving people who are alive and also dead because especially when you've had somebody in your life for a really, really, really long time and then all of a sudden they're just gone. It is a grieving process of, even if they're alive, you're grieving that friendship, you're grieving the person that you knew, and you're grieving everything that you had together. It's the same as, it's not the same as, but you know, like when somebody you love dies and they're just memories now, it's like the same thing. Even though they're still a person who's alive and well and living and breathing, they're just memories to you at this point. You don't know anything about them. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what they like or what they don't like anymore. you know, you don't know about drama that they've endured with friends or with family or any of this stuff. It's very it's very strange. That's like the word of the day, I guess, is strange. Um it's really hard to move on, I think, when people just like are gone all of a sudden. Um my next bullet point here is don't fucking ghost people, and I'm just abruptly switching to that because moving on from a person who ghosts you, I think, is like one of the hardest things to do. Maybe not one of the hardest. For me, it's been the hardest. I think it's probably harder if you like have to see this person still. Like if you were in a relationship and you break up and you're still in school together and you have to go see each other, like that's fucking hard. I don't know anything about it personally. I've only had like one boyfriend and a couple of like not boyfriends. But I've been ghosted a couple times, and I guess, is it like at a point where it's like, am I the problem? I'm the problem, it's me. Um, I don't think I'm the problem, but I don't know. Don't fucking ghost people. That is like the worst thing that you can ever do to somebody, in my opinion, is like to just stop talking to them one day. And it's like one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever experienced in my life, because I would so much rather a person be like, I can't be your friend anymore, and here's why, than to just stop answering my texts and my calls and act like I don't exist. It's such, not having that closure is like really mind fucking. Like, personally, when that happens to me, I spend so much time feeling like, what did I do wrong? Even though I think if somebody's ghosting you, it says a lot more about them than it does about you. But it's just like the worst feeling, especially when it's super sudden and you've invested so much time and so much energy into this person, and you're still trying to text them and you're still trying to call them and you're just not getting any response. And in the past, when that's happened to me, I've waited a while and then reached out again, and that's just not happening anymore. If somebody ghosts you and you want to go back, you just have to remember that you deserve so much better than that. You know, like I've been ghosted, and it took that, and it took me finally being done with this person's shit for me to be like, I do deserve better than that. And so now I'm not even bothering, you know? It is really difficult. And personally takes a long time to move on for me. I get pretty invested in people and attached to people pretty quickly if I get the right vibe from them. I like rely really heavily on my intuition when it comes to people. When I meet a person, I can generally tell from first meeting them whether or not I'm gonna like them just by like the vibe they give me. I don't know. I always try to just follow my intuition and my gut reaction to people, which isn't always fair because a person's first impression isn't everything. If people relied just on first impressions of me, I don't know how good it would be, because generally when I first meet people, I'm pretty quiet. Um, keep to myself because I get nervous about it. But also, it depends on the vibe of the person. Everything depends on the vibe, guys. Everything depends on the vibe. And I will live by that. I have to get a drink. Hold on. But yeah, don't fucking ghost people. It is the shittiest thing that you could do. And there's no reason. Like, people who ghost people for reasons that are not valid are fucking cowards. If you ghost somebody just because you're scared to tell them how you feel, it's fucking cowardly. If you don't want to be friends with a person, don't be friends with them, but fucking tell them. Don't be their BFF for years and then stop talking to them one day. It's not cool to do that. Yeah. Oh god, sorry. I I don't know. I've been a victim of ghosting one too many times now, and I'm at a point where I'm pissed about it. I used to be sad. I still get sad sometimes when I think about it, but like now I'm at a point where I'm just pissed about it because I'm like, that is such a shitty thing to do for no reason. I understand it's not easy to be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I can't invest in this relationship anymore. I can't invest in this friendship anymore. But just fucking say that anyway. I literally don't give a fuck. I would rather be hurt or would rather have a conversation. Because here's the thing, you can have a mature conversation about what's not working, why it's not working, and either how you can fix it or simply just move on from the relationship, from the friendship, whatever it is. And that's a much better, even though it's harder, oh god, even though it's harder, a much better option than just fucking ignoring somebody or blocking them without ever saying goodbye, without ever giving a reason. I could go on about this for probably ever, but I think I would just be talking in circles. So, let's talk about social media now. Sharp twist, I know. Sharp twist, sharp turn. My one eyebrow. I'm looking at myself, my one eyebrow. Don't look at it, guys. My one eyebrow just like won't stop going up. And this one just stays down. Look at it. Don't look at it. I'm kidding. Anyways, social media. I just deleted all social media from my phone and I tried to re-download Instagram today and my phone won't let me. So I only have social media on my iPad now. Like except for Snapchat, I have Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and whatever else only on my iPad. And honestly, I was fine with leaving Twitter and TikTok on my iPad because I waste way too much time during my day on those apps. But like Instagram is just Instagram and I feel like it's not like I don't use it like I used to. I used to have a Teen Wolf Instagram account. It had like 20,000 followers. There's a Teen Wolf I'm going off topic. There's a Teen Wolf movie coming out on January 26th on Paramount Plus and I have to watch it. I'm so sad that like Dylan O'Brien won't be in it, but they brought back Crystal Reed. And I'm really curious about how that's going to play out because why the hell what do you mean she's still alive? And I don't know, I'm not trying to spoil, but this was in the trailer. But why is she hating werewolves again? And why did she leave like that? I don't know. I'm really excited. I really wish that Dylan O'Brien was going to be in it. But, because I'm curious if they're going to have, like, Lydia and Styles still be together and where is Styles going to be. Maybe he'll be, like, off on an FBI assignment because that's where spoiler alert, that's where they left off on season 6 at the end. It's not really a spoiler alert. The show ended years ago, but so from the ages of, like, 14, no. Yeah. So from when I was like 13 or 14, I want to say 13. When I was 13 until I was like, when did the show end? Hold on. We're going to Google, when did Teen Wolf end? 2017. Oh my god, that's like 5 years ago. So from when I was 12 or 13, I changed my age again, guys. I don't remember the years. From when I was 12 or 13 until. Sorry, I just remembered. I was definitely 12 because I had a friend who I made on Instagram, and she came and visited me for my 13th birthday. So, Amy from Brooklyn, if you ever see this, hey girl. Sorry, excuse me. Yes, when I was like 12 until I was 15, I had this Teen Wolf Instagram. I was making AUs, or which stands for Alternative Universes. I feel like a friggin' dweeb right now talking about this. I was making them. I had 20,000 followers. I loved it. It's how I discovered that I really enjoyed writing and wanted to like be a writer or an editor or something to do with books and fiction and stuff like that. I used to be so meticulous. I used to go on screencaps.com and I knew every single scene of every single Teen Wolf episode like by heart. You could ask me anything and I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, that was season 4, episode 13," and I would know the episode name. I loved it so much, and I would go and I would get my screen caps and I'd put them in a collage like on Moldiv, and then I used to do presets. I can't remember the name of the app that I used to do my presets on, but oh my god, it's bothering me. I don't know. There was an app, if anybody knows. I think it started with a P. It wasn't. It was like sometimes it was like kind of janky. Like I feel like I had like a bootleg version. There was like a paid version, I think, and then there was a free version. But I would have these presets and I would adjust all the lighting and stuff on each post, and then I would put my words. I would go on Fonto and I would put my dialogue and stuff, and I like had different phases. I would change my username a lot, and I had different phases where I was using different fonts and different colors, and I loved making it. Like, I loved that my feed was cohesive because I had the same filter on everything. And then for each post, the characters would have the same colored dialogue. I don't know. I was like, it was so much fun. Yo, why did I just start talking about that and like went off on a tangent for it forever? I don't remember what the point of me saying that was. Oh, yeah, I used to be super into Instagram and I used to spend like all my time on it, but now I don't. I really don't care about Instagram that much. It's like, whatever. But TikTok consumes so much of my time, so I was like, I have to delete it. Because I stopped reading and I stopped doing like actual things because I would just like lay in bed and watch TikToks, then all of a sudden like 4 hours would be gone and I'd be like, what did I even just do? Like I did nothing with my day but lay in bed and watch TikToks. So I put it away. I deleted it from my phone. But I also feel like I do social media cleanses. Like I've done them ever since I was in high school. Just because I would be so overwhelming. Take like social media. Oh my god, excuse me guys. I'm probably gonna keep coughing because I'm probably getting sick, but yeah, social media is just really not like a great place and it's really overwhelming. And you know, I've grown up in it, and anybody listening to this probably also has. Like I was probably 11 or 10 when Instagram first came out. You know, I was in middle school and Snapchat was huge, and then it was Vine, and then it was Musically, and then it was TikTok, and then there was Twitter and all this different stuff, and it's like you're exposed to so much, and it's just definitely not healthy. My whole thing with like social media, like I really don't like Twitter anymore. I used to have so much fun on Twitter, but it's just like any post that you click on is like a million people trying to dissect it and overanalyze it, and be mean, like, for no reason. There's a meme that I've seen go around where it's like, it's a tweet and it's somebody being like, what did it say? Like, people just take things so far out of context and put words in your mouth. Like, you could tweet, I like pancakes, and people would be like, so you hate waffles? And it's like, no, that's not what I mean. And granted, there are a lot of people on social media, and especially on Twitter, who suck and are just mean and would say, I love this, to say that they hate something else. But it's just like, it's too much. Like, I don't think that we ever were meant to have access to so many people and so much information all day, every day. Like, it's definitely not good for our brains. And I will be honest, like, social media definitely is a huge part in, a lot of, I don't know how to say this right, but me personally, I feel like any mental health issues that I have probably wouldn't be as bad if there were no social media. I think that they would still be there, but I don't think they would be as bad. And this is like not a new discussion. This is something that people talk about all the time. And I've even talked about social media before on my podcast. But now that I'm actually taking a break from it, I thought that I would talk about that. And personally, I have felt better without it. I've been doing more things. And I've been focusing on, I'm not procrastinating my homework as much, and I'm spending more time with my family. And even just time, like, just sitting and listening to music. Like, I think about when I was younger and, like, before TikTok, I was like, what did I used to do in my free time if I wasn't watching TikTok? But I was reading and I was listening to music and I was rearranging my room like once a week. And I was doing a lot of different things that were filling up my time that were way more productive than sitting in bed and watching TikTok. Even if they weren't super productive, it was still just better for my creativity. I honestly feel like if I hadn't deleted TikTok, I don't even know if I'd be making this podcast episode right now. I'd probably be laying here in bed watching TikTok, you know? So I feel like taking a break has definitely been great. And the reason that I haven't completely deleted it is because I do think that there are benefits to social media and to the internet. Like, obviously, having access to so much information is also cool and can be a good thing, but I just don't feel like we should ever be interacting with millions of people on a daily basis, you know? I think that that's crazy. And I don't want, it's like the same thing with like dieting, where I personally won't ever diet because I have this life and it's my only life. It's the one life that I've gotten. I'm not going to stop myself from doing things that I enjoy. So even though I don't want to be on it all the time, by just having it on my iPad, I'm not using it as much. Like I've only been watching TikToks for like maybe an hour a day. I don't even know if that since I deleted it. Um, and like I haven't really even bothered with Twitter because it's just like I'm at a point where I just don't care. Like, it's too much, and seeing this constant like negativity and all just bad vibes all around. It's all about the vibes, guys. It's all about the vibes. Um yeah, I just moderation. And like I said, I brought up dieting. Like I would never diet, but I will work on moderation, having portion control and still having the things that I enjoy and just having portion control. And it's like the same thing with social media. I enjoy it, so I'm going to keep enjoying it, but in a smaller amount, you know? I think that that's very important. Okay, I'm going to take a drink now, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. Also, I don't know, this microphone is like not great. It's not that bad, but I like can't breathe. I don't know what's going on right now, so I'm really sorry about that. And I really hope you didn't just hear me swallow. Okay. Next topic is feeling lost. So I mentioned before that I have been ghosted a lot, and the last time that I was ghosted kind of really messed with my brain, and I basically just started questioning myself. Is there a bug on my wall? No, sorry. I started questioning myself, and up until recently, just really felt like I did not know who I was at all. Because I was in a friendship that I feel like really messed with my head, and I was changing who I was for a person, and I was overthinking every single thing that I did because I just wanted to be what this person wanted me to be, or what I thought that person wanted me to be. And then when they ghosted me and I didn't have to do that anymore, I was like, I don't know anything about myself actually. Um so I've been kind of dealing with that, and I was also, I was falling into a deep hole of, up until recently, my sleep schedule was really, really bad, and I've not been working. I don't have a job right now, so I've not been doing much other than school and occasionally seeing like some of my friends. So I wanted to talk about how to find yourself again when you feel lost. Honestly, I think the social media cleanse of this last, I don't even know how many days it's been. It definitely hasn't been a week, I'll tell you that. But even in a few days, like, the worst thing about it has been trying to go on my phone, like going on my phone and going to open up an app and being like, oh, it's not there. Um, and then it's just like, oh, move on. I spent a lot of time on Pinterest today. I'll tell you that much. Um, but honestly, taking a break from social media has helped because it stopped me from procrastinating doing things. I think the best thing, if you feel lost, if you feel like you lost yourself, the best thing that you can do is just try things to see if you can find yourself, see if you like things. Even things that if you didn't like them before, maybe you'll like them now. Um, I've been reading more. When I was a kid, I used to read all the time. Um, so much. I was reading constantly, and in the last few years, I've definitely hit a rut. I've read literally like 5 books this year. I tried doing like the Goodreads, like reading, what is it, like yearly contest? I don't know. You like set a goal. My goal was literally 40 books, and at one point I was reading like a lot at once, so I thought that I was going to be able to do it. I've read 5 books this year. It's taken me like 5 months to friggin' read My Policeman, and I still haven't even finished it. I watched the movie though. It was a really good movie. Um, but yeah, and like, I'm very sorry. That was so loud. That is my sister. She just dropped something upstairs above me. But um, I don't edit my podcasts. I just don't vibe with that. I think that they're more fun when they're straight through because it's kind of like a real conversation instead of like it being edited. Maybe one day, but I don't have the energy at this moment in time, so who knows. But sorry, my eyebrows are like really throwing me off right now. But where was I? Oh, trying things. Yeah. So I've been trying to read more. Um honestly, sing along to music more. Like, think that's a big thing. Even if you don't think you're a good singer, I'm not one to say whether or not you're a good singer. Just have fun with it, you know? If you're alone, sing like nobody's watching because nobody fucking is. Like, it's all in your head. I used to be, like, in the car, literally entirely by myself, and I would, like, miss a note and feel embarrassed. And I'm like, what do I have to feel embarrassed about? I'm just in the car by myself, and I'm having a good time. It doesn't even matter how I sound. And that's another thing. Don't stop caring about what people think about you, which is way easier said than done. And I definitely didn't start doing that until after I graduated high school. But, and everybody hears this, and you're like, oh my god, I'm hearing this fucking again. Seriously, stop fucking caring about what people think. It really doesn't matter. And it's annoying. Like, why am I going to care what you think? What does it matter what you think? All that matters is what I think about me. Do I like who I am? Do I like what I'm doing? Am I doing what I like? Does that mean the same thing? No. Okay. That's all that matters is you. Like, for your entire life, the only person who's going to be with you for all of your life is you. Your family will be with you for almost all your life. Your friends will be with you for almost all your life. But at the end of the night, you're going to bed and it's just you. Do you like who this person is? And if you're changing yourself for other people, it's like, why? Why am I going to bother spending my time on people who aren't going to love me for who I am? And that's like another thing with going back to the ghosting thing, is if somebody ghosts you, don't go back because it's not worth going after other people. I saw this post on Pinterest today. I'm going to find it and I'm going to read it for you real quick. I posted it on my VSCO because I became a VSCO girly since I stopped using social media. But it says, I don't chase people anymore. I learned that I'm here and I'm important. I'm not going to run after people to prove that I matter. Because the right people are going to know that you matter. And they're going to love you for it no matter what. And if you're scared about not knowing where to find those people, try branching out more in things that you like. And I bet you'll find people there. I found some of the best people in my life, honestly, by joining chorus, by joining theater, even though they were things that I were worried about because at the time I felt like other people who I went to school with perceived it as like nerdy and dorky and stuff, but at the end of the day, it was something that I really loved, so I did it anyway, and I met the best people there, and they're the only people who I've, like, some of the only people who've ever really loved me for me, and never really judged me. I found some of the best people that way. You know, just trying new things, joining any new clubs, going to events, going just places, going to the bookstore and talking to somebody. You can find people in a lot of different places. And I'm not really one to talk because I have probably like 3 friends, but I'm also going to try to meet new people. So if I can do it, then you can do it. And another thing about when you feel lost is don't be too hard on yourself, which is a hard thing because it's like, don't feel like, be gentle with yourself, but also don't be too forgiving with yourself to the point where you're just allowing things to happen. I think the most important thing I've realized in the past couple years is that I was being passive in my own life instead of being active. I don't want to be a passive person. I don't want to just let things happen to me. I don't want to just let life happen to me. So be gentle with yourself, of course, but don't let it get to the point where you're just letting life happen and you're not participating in it yourself and doing stuff that you like, and you're just like, I was doing that recently. I was being very passive. The days are just passing me by and I'm not doing anything because I knew that I was sad. And obviously you need to take breaks when you need to take breaks. Not breaks, but when you need to rest, you need to rest. And that's important to remember always. But when it becomes 3 weeks straight of resting, it becomes a point, or 3 weeks is, let's, what's the word? Okay, forget 3 weeks. If it's like 2 months and you're still just letting time pass and you're not really doing anything, it gets to a point where you kind of have to have this wake up call and be like, I have to start doing things for myself and I have to start doing things with my life. And for me, it also became a matter of like, in my specific situation where it was because of this the situation I was having with this person, that I was like, why am I going to let this person do this to me? This person doesn't deserve this reaction from me. And especially if you're like me and somebody did this to you, and that person is probably just going and living their life the same way that they were before and not even thinking twice about what they did to you. If you think that that's the case, it doesn't matter if it is or not, honestly, at that point. Like, that's so annoying. And it's just not worth losing yourself over. You know? Like, I realize that person is not what just happened. That was so rude. It just stopped recording. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, that person is not worth me losing myself over. I wanted to be with this person so bad and it didn't happen. And I just realized that, like, this person did not deserve me. You know? I mean, you're in a situation, you have to realize, like, obviously, if you really love somebody, you want to be with them and you want to fight to be with them and stuff like that. But if it comes to the point where it's obvious that they just don't feel that way and they don't care about you like that, and especially if they don't, I don't know, it's a hard situation, but this person wasn't worth me losing myself over. They didn't deserve me in the way that I was there and the way that I wanted to be there, and they are just not worth me losing myself, because I like myself. I'm pretty good. I'm a pretty good person. I think I'm fun. I think I'm kind and generous and caring and loving, and I love to give advice. And like, literally my whole thing is just being kind, and anyone would be lucky to be with me. You have to realize that. You have to realize you're worth more. And anyone would be lucky to be with you. You know? And what? And if you're having to fight for somebody to want to be with you, you deserve better than that. So, remember that, okay? But yeah. And if anybody out there feels like they're losing themselves, losing themselves. What? What is the grammar there? If anybody out there feels like they're losing their self, you know what I mean. Or if you're in a deep dark place and you don't know how to get out, ew, my hair. DM me on Instagram. Yeah, DM me on Instagram. I'm always here to listen. I'm always here to give advice. I think that I can put like a Q&A thing on on Spotify. So if anybody needs advice or has questions or thoughts, you can leave them there, or you can DM them to me and let me know if you want me to talk about them in an episode. And also, like, follow my Instagram. It's lltmpodcast. lltmpodcast. And if you keep up with like stories and stuff, I'll probably usually post like questionnaires and polls and stuff like that. So feedback there, questions, anything there. Um, yeah, I just wanted everybody to know that I am here for them and I care. Okay? This is like a total 360 now. The next topic is college. So I'm in my third year of college. I'm an English major and I'll be 21 in January. Um, just so everybody can get like a little grasp of who I am and where I'm at. I'm in my third year of college, but I go part-time, so I'm not like graduating next year. And I might be changing my major. So I'm going through that right now. If anybody has any advice for me, that'd be great. Um, yeah, I'm a commuter student, and my first bullet point here says being a commuter sucks. I don't know if it's like this at every school. It's probably not, and there are probably also people who love commuting. I hate commuting. I feel like because of it, it's harder for me to make friends. I can't spend a lot of time on campus because parking is money, and then I hate driving to campus. It's like a half-hour drive. And it's just, I feel like it's really hard to make friends, and because I can't spend a lot of time on campus, I can't go to events. It's harder for me to go to events. Like, I can't say that I can't, but it's harder for me to. And I like don't want to because I don't want to be on campus when I don't have to be, you know? And because I'm a commuter, you know, and not spending a lot of time, I'm not meeting people, I'm not involved in stuff. And that is partially my own fault, but also as a commuter, I don't know how to get involved in these things. I don't know if it's because I'm a commuter or if it's because I'm a first generation college student that I just feel really lost and stuff, but I hate commuting. I don't like it. I wish that I had been able to dorm on campus because I have like people in my classes, and some of them know each other because they dorm together or dorm near each other or involved in some way because they live on campus. And like, I don't know, I really envy that, honestly. Uh like my one of my best friends, she lives at her school. She has a lot of friends. She's very involved, and I went to visit her, and I had so much fun. But then I left there with this just like huge sadness of just jealousy, honestly, because I'm jealous of her college experience. We're having two completely different college experiences. Um, and it's just, it is what it is, you know, and at this point, it's like, it's way too late for me to dorm. But yeah, it would have been nice if it were an option. And also, like, I was the class of 2020, so I kind of just got dealt a bad hand there. It made it a little harder for anything to happen, honestly. I didn't even go onto campus until maybe last fall. And even then, it was like you were still social distancing and everything. So it was like people were scared to make friends, or at least I was scared to make friends because I felt weird trying to talk to people when you're supposed to be staying away, you know? Um, yeah, and you know, gen eds, I literally hate gen eds. I feel like they should just be outlawed. Like, why are we paying to go to school? First of all, let's talk about parking. Why do you have to fucking pay for parking in a place where you pay tuition? This is literally the most ridiculous thing ever. Last year, I was paying like at least $20 a week on parking. I was paying more than that. I was going to school 5 days a week, and I was just paying a lot of money for parking for a school that like we're paying to go to. So what sense does that make? The same way in... Wait, what else did I just say you had to pay for? Yo, guys, my brain is really bad. Oh, gen eds. I literally hate gen eds. They're the stupidest thing. They're a waste of my time. Like, if you're undecided, if you go into college undecided, I understand why you should take gen eds. And I understand that they want you to take gen eds. I don't know, I guess so you have, like, a more well-rounded education. But personally, paying to go to school, to take courses on classes that have nothing to do with what I'm going to school for is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard of in my life. I hate gen eds, and I think that they're just such a waste of time. Like, I'm an English major, and I have to take a math class, and I have to take a computer science class, and I have to take a communications class, and I have to take a physical health class. Like, I just have to take all these classes, and I think that take some gen eds. I don't think there should be as many required as there are, and you should not have, like, a limit on what kind of gen eds you can take, because I think that it should still be stuff that you are interested in. I could not care less about computer science, and I have to take a fucking computer science class next semester, and it's like a 3-hour long class with so much work, and I'm like, why? I'm literally an English major. Although I might be switching into the teaching program. I'm not really sure. We're going to see how that goes. I have to talk to my advisor because I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I've been told, why didn't you do this sooner, by every single person that I've asked, because they said, we always thought you'd be a teacher, so I don't know why you're not. And I said, oh, okay. So now I have to talk to my advisor 3 years into college, and I'm probably switching, so I'm doing great. But that leads me to my next topic. Not my next topic, my next bullet point about college, which is, how the fuck do people expect you to decide what you want to do when you're 18? Well, really, you have to decide when you're 17, when you're applying for college. And of course, you can always switch your major, like I'm trying to do, but that's also incredibly difficult and can set you back. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to switch. And if I can't switch, then it's like, why am I paying to go to school when I can't even go change to do what I want to do? And it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care that it's setting me back and that I will probably have to graduate later. Like, a small part of me cares, but I don't know if you can hear that. It's my heat. I'm very sorry. Lots of interruptions today. Don't know why, but even though I feel a little upset about definitely the fact that I'm going to graduate late, when I say definitely, I meant that I'm definitely graduating late and not graduating on time. I'm a little sad, mostly because I'm going to be seeing all the people that I went to high school with graduating on time, probably. But also, like, it's okay to take your time, because deciding your career or what you want to do when you're 18 might not have been what was right. Or maybe you're going to take a gap semester or a gap year. Or maybe you're going to go to college a couple of years late. You know, shit happens. Life happens. And it's better to get any education at all. You know? I would rather... I'm glad that I'm doing it. So, that's all that matters to me. That's the end of my topics, guys. But now I do have my 2 new segments. My first segment is called Brain Fart. I have a list of things that I've started. I started it a couple months ago, and it's titled Things I Have to Say in all capitals. But this is basically my brain farts. So I'm going to pick a couple of these, and I'm going to tell you what they are. Some have context, others do not. 'Cause, let's see. What is this? Oh, here's one. Everyone wants to be a clip bitch, but no one wants to talk about how it sucks to drive with it. If this is confusing, I'm talking about hair clips because I think probably last year, or I guess in 2020, everybody started suddenly getting into putting clips in their hair again. And they're so cute, don't get me wrong. I love wearing a good clip, but nobody talks about how fucking uncomfortable it is to drive with it, and then it's hitting the fucking headrest while you're driving, and then if you don't want it to hit the headrest and you have to like sit at a weird angle, or you have to drive with your hair looking like shit and then put it in before you go wherever you're gonna go, which is also just as annoying, because what if I drive past a cute person and I look like shit because my clip isn't in my hair, you know? Or what if I have a cute person in the car with me? It's just annoying. Okay, let's see. Next one. We should abolish street parking on corners because I can't fucking see. This is a problem that I've been having for a while now, especially because I live in a small town and all the towns surrounding me are also small. Street parking, fine. Why do we let people park on street corners and then it blocks you and then you can't see if any cars are coming, so you have to basically get into the intersection to see if there's a car coming. And if there is a car coming, then they're almost going to hit you anyway, and you're probably going to get in like a little bit of road rage. They're going to honk at you and you're going to be frustrated because it's like not your fault because you couldn't tell if there was a car coming or not, but it's also so annoying. Do you know, like, I like abolish street parking on corners, okay? Make it like a spot after so you can at least see if people are coming from either direction. It's just fucking annoying. And last one is opening acts are underrated. I definitely wrote this down at the Harry Styles concert. Because when I saw Harry Styles, I don't remember who opened for him the first night that I went. Was it the same person both nights? It definitely was. Well, okay. So I saw him at MSG and Blood Orange opened, and they were really, really good. And I was thinking about how opening acts I think are really underrated. Like I saw Taylor Swift in 2015, and Shawn Mendes opened for her. And I remember sitting there and I was like, oh, I love this. I'm having a great time. But like people skip opening acts and people don't pay attention and go on their phones and shit like that, and I don't know. I feel like this person is trying to be a new artist and they're performing like, especially in the case of Harry. I don't know what it's like for all artists, but Harry, like, pretty sure picks his opening acts. So for him to sit there and be like, yes, I want this person to open for me, like, I'm gonna listen, I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna pay attention, because if Harry Styles likes them, then maybe I will too. And I did. Blood Orange was really good. And then whoever opened up for him in Texas, I don't remember who it was, but I did see some videos. Also really good. He was like insane. So cute. Also, let's talk about the fact that I saw Harry Styles MSG Night 6 with the best fit of the MSG residency. Let's just talk about that, okay, guys? And that's the end of the brain fart segment. So this last segment, and then this will be the end of the episode, is I got this idea from the podcast Emergency Intercom, which is with Enya and Drew. Definitely listen to that. If you see Enya, if you don't know who she is by her name, I remember her from Vine when she first started getting a following. And they're so fucking funny. So definitely listen to it. But the segment is media of the week. So just what I'm into right now. So for movies, today I watched Tick Tick Boom. My love for that was awoken. I watched the the YouTube voice coach, Hannah Bales, I think her name is. I don't know. She's so pretty. She's a redhead. and she reacts to so much stuff, and I love her. She reacted to Tick Tick Boom, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot how much I fucking love that movie. So I watched it today, and like, oh, first of all, I love musicals. Second of all, heartbreaking and devastating. Third of all, the cast is just so insanely talented. Andrew Garfield plays Jonathan Larson, and holy shit. I also found out when this came out that Andrew Garfield like trained with a voice coach for 2 years before filming for the movie. Insane. Stop that. Insane dedication. Crazy talented, okay? Would never have expected it. Beautiful, stunning vocals the entire fucking movie. And Jonathan Larson was a fucking genius, okay? I could go off. Okay, next movie. I have 2 movies. So the next one is a movie called Waves. It's from 2019, and it's got Alexa Demie in it. Is that her name? Yeah, from Euphoria. It's on Peacock. I actually found it because somebody made like put scenes from it to White Ferrari. And it came across on my YouTube recommended. So I watched it and I was like, because I like that song. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch this. So I watched it. Honest to God, also kind of devastating. Very devastating. Heartbreaking. I hysterically cried like a baby. But, so those are my movies. My TV show right now that I've been watching is The Blacklist. I started watching this a couple years ago, and also, like, nobody knows what it is. I didn't know that, but it's on Netflix. I watched it a couple years ago, and then made it to, like, maybe season 3 and never finished it. So I've been watching it. I'm on season 8. There's 9 seasons. I love this show. It's, like, crime show. It's about the FBI, and they are working with, like, the FBI's number 1 most wanted man, or he's in the top 10, I don't know, in the show. It's very good. So that's my TV show. I only have 1. And then I have music. So right now, my 2 songs that I've been listening to, or have been stuck in my head, are Session 32 by Summer Walker. I watched her NPC Tiny Desk the other day, and I just forgot how much I loved her. I used to listen to her all the time. But then, like, her music reminded me of someone, and so it made me kind of sad, so I stopped listening, but I love that song. And the other one is Would've, Could've, Should've by Taylor Swift. That song hits me right in the heart, and I wish that it wouldn't. It's beautiful. I'm glad that it does. But, like, if you've listened to it, if you just read the lyrics, it's pretty sad. And I relate to it so hard. Then I'm like, Taylor Swift, are you in my brain? Are you in here? But yeah, those are my songs. And then I have 2 podcasts, which I've already mentioned them both today, but Emergency Intercom and Plan Brie Uncut. They're both funny. They're both okay. Enya and Drew's is like more satirical. But they're so funny and like really I just love listening to them. Like when I'll be cleaning my room and I'll listen to them, or I'm just like hanging out and I'm listening to them. Plan Brie Uncut is more like relatable and kind of more what I do, except there's 2 of them, but they're so fucking funny. Yeah. So that's my media of the week, and that's this episode. Thank you for listening if you're here. Thank you for listening to the whole thing. I'm so excited to be back. I'm so excited to be putting these on YouTube. The link for the YouTube video will probably be in my Instagram bio, in the Linktree link. But otherwise, it's Love Letters to Myself on YouTube. lltmpodcast on Instagram. You can find it here. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Apple Podcast. thank you so much for spending this time with me, listening to me talk about things. Please let me know if there's anything that anybody would like to hear from me. I'm more than happy to not have to come up with topics myself. It's like the hardest thing about this is what the fuck do I talk about? But I love you all. Happy today's day. It's Thanksgiving. It's 3:30 in the morning, honestly, on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. You know, I'm thankful for a lot of things. This podcast being one of them and the opportunity to do it. I love everybody. Spread love. Be kind. Make a stranger smile or something. I don't know. Just be kind to people. And I hope that you all have a great day, a great week, a great month, great rest of the year. Okay? I love you all. Bye.